Chosen one. Something shifted before you even pressed play, and that quiet shift is the reason you are hearing this message right now. This moment is not random, and it is not ordinary. Heaven arranged this encounter with precision, aligning your attention with a word that was meant to reach you at exactly this point in your journey. Anointed one, you did not find this message by accident. There are seasons when God prepares a person in silence, and then there are moments when the preparation suddenly begins to reveal its purpose. What you are sensing right now is that kind of moment. Something long hidden beneath delays, disappointments, and unanswered questions has begun to move. Scripture reminds us in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, that the vision waits for its appointed time, but when the moment arrives, it will surely come and will not delay. Chosen one. The reason your spirit feels stirred is because that appointed time is closer than you think. What once felt like limitation was actually formation. What looked like loss was often protection. And what seemed delayed was being aligned with something far greater than you could see. This message is not about chasing money or status. It is about alignment with an assignment that carries provision, authority, and influence. The shift from broke to billionaire begins first in identity, then in stewardship, and finally in manifestation. If this message resonates in your spirit, consider subscribing so you do not miss the words meant for your season. Because what you are about to understand next will reveal why this shift has already begun. Chosen one. There are seasons in life when heaven speaks loudly, and there are seasons when heaven moves quietly beneath the surface. What you are standing in right now is not the loud season yet. It is the moment when the ground beneath your life has already begun to shift, even though the surface still looks the same. Anointed one. The reason this moment feels strange to you is because something inside you has begun to wake up before anything around you has changed. Your routine may still look ordinary. The bank account may still look modest. The doors you knocked on before may still appear closed, but deep inside your spirit, there is a stirring that refuses to return to sleep. That stirring is not imagination. It is alignment. Chosen one. I remember a season in my own life when everything around me looked small, quiet, almost uneventful. The days passed in repetition. The responsibilities were ordinary, and if someone had looked from the outside, they would have seen nothing remarkable. Yet there was a quiet tension inside me, as if something greater was pressing against the walls of my life, waiting for room to expand. At first, I thought it was frustration. Later, I realized it was preparation. You see, Anointed One, heaven does not begin the shift in your bank account. Heaven begins the shift in your identity. And the moment identity begins to change, the old life starts to feel uncomfortable. Conversations that once satisfied you begin to feel empty. Paths that once felt safe begin to feel limiting. Opportunities that once looked attractive now feel misaligned. You start to sense that the version of you that once survived in limitation cannot remain the version of you that carries what God is preparing to release. Chosen one. This is why the transition from broke to billionaire does not begin with money. It begins with recognition. Recognition that the story you inherited is not the story you are assigned to complete. Some people were born into cycles they were never meant to continue. Cycles of scarcity, cycles of fear, cycles of survival, thinking that kept entire bloodlines living beneath what God intended. But every generation, God chooses someone who refuses to accept the limits that previous seasons created. And Anointed One. The uncomfortable truth is that the person chosen to break the cycle almost always feels the pressure first. You feel it when you wake up, and something inside you refuses to settle for the life that once seemed acceptable. You feel it when opportunities appear that do not match the old identity you used to carry. You feel it when certain relationships begin to shift because the version of you that once belonged in those spaces is no longer the version you are becoming. At first, this pressure can feel confusing. You may ask yourself why life suddenly feels heavier when you have been praying for breakthrough. But expansion always begins with pressure. Just as a seed must break open before it grows, your identity must stretch before your assignment expands. Chosen one. The reason the pressure has been increasing in your life is not because heaven has forgotten you. It is because heaven is enlarging your capacity, and capacity is not built in comfort. I have watched many people pray for increase while secretly hoping the process would remain easy. But the truth is that God protects His children from blessings they are not ready to carry. Wealth without maturity becomes destruction. Influence without character becomes corruption. Authority without humility becomes isolation. So heaven often slows the process not to delay you, but to prepare you. Anointed one, think back over the past few years of your life. There were doors you thought should have opened that remained shut. There were opportunities you expected to flourish that quietly disappeared. There were seasons when you felt invisible, as if your efforts were unfolding without witnesses. At the time, it felt like delay, but many of those moments were protection, because the version of you that exists today is not the same version that existed then. The discipline that has been forming in your life did not appear overnight. The discernment you now carry was not learned in comfort. The quiet strength you feel rising within you was forged in moments when you had to keep moving forward without applause. Chosen one. This is one of the hidden truths about divine elevation. Before heaven raises your income, it raises your standards. Before heaven expands your influence, it strengthens your foundation. That is why the lessons you have been learning recently may seem small or repetitive. Waking up earlier when no one is watching. Guarding your time more carefully. Saying no to distractions that once seemed harmless. Learning to manage small resources with the same seriousness you would treat large ones. These are not random habits. They are structural reinforcements for the life that is coming. Because Anointed One wealth does not only reveal what you have, it reveals who you are. If a person carries chaos inside, money amplifies that chaos. If a person carries wisdom inside, money multiplies that wisdom. This is why heaven spends so much time working on the inner structure before releasing the outer increase. And you may not realize it yet, but that inner structure is already forming within you. You have begun to notice how your reactions are changing. Situations that once pulled you into emotional storms no longer have the same power. Decisions that once required endless debate now become clearer with quiet reflection. You are learning to observe before reacting, to discern before agreeing, to move with intention instead of impulse. That shift is not accidental, it is authority being formed. Chosen one, the life God is preparing you for requires a version of you that is not easily shaken. Opportunities will come that demand clear judgment. Resources will appear that require wise stewardship. Influence will grow that demands emotional stability. And heaven will never release that level of responsibility into a life that is still governed by chaos. So if your life has recently felt quieter, more focused, more disciplined, understand that this is not restriction, it is alignment. Heaven often simplifies your world before it expands your assignment. Certain distractions fall away. Certain relationships fade into the background. Certain habits lose their grip. At first, this can feel like loss, but in reality, it is clearance. Clearance for the life that is approaching. Anointed one. Many people fail not because they lacked opportunity, but because they could not endure the season when no one noticed their preparation. They wanted visibility before stability. They wanted reward before refinement. But the season you have been walking through has been different. You have been learning how to build quietly. You have been learning how to improve when no one was measuring your progress. You have been learning how to stay faithful to small responsibilities, even when they seemed insignificant. You have been learning how to keep showing up when results moved slowly. And that kind of consistency carries enormous spiritual weight, because heaven trusts the person who keeps their word when the room is empty. Chosen. 1. What you have been building in private is not invisible to God. Every moment of discipline, every decision to remain aligned, every step you took when quitting would have been easier. Those moments are forming the foundation of a life that will soon expand beyond what you currently see. But the shift you are sensing right now is only the beginning. Because there is another stage of preparation that many people misunderstand, and it is the stage where heaven begins to test not your strength, but your patience. And that is where this journey becomes even deeper. Asai. Chosen. 1. The stage of patience is one of the most misunderstood parts of divine elevation. Many people assume that when God begins moving in their life, everything will accelerate immediately. They expect visible breakthroughs, open doors, sudden confirmations. But what often happens instead is something far quieter and far more powerful. Heaven begins teaching you how to remain steady when nothing seems to be changing on the outside. Anointed one. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is the discipline of remaining aligned while heaven arranges what you cannot see. I remember a period when I believed that once I had learned the lessons of discipline and focus, the breakthrough would come quickly. I thought the next step would be obvious. Instead, the days looked almost identical to the ones before. The work continued. The responsibilities remained. The progress felt internal rather than visible. And in that quiet season, something surprising happened. The urgency I once felt slowly began to dissolve. At first it confused me. I wondered if I had lost momentum or passion, but the truth was deeper than that. God was removing anxiety from my movement so that my decisions could be guided by clarity instead of pressure. Chosen one. There is a profound difference between urgency and readiness. Urgency says everything must happen now. Readiness says I will be prepared whenever the moment arrives, and heaven always responds to readiness. That is why the pace of your life may feel calmer now. The emotional swings that once pushed you forward are beginning to fade. You are learning how to move without panic. You are learning how to make decisions without fear of missing out. You are learning how to trust that the doors meant for you will appear in the right moment. Scripture reminds us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 that there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Not a rushed time, not a forced time, an appointed time. And chosen one of the greatest signs that your appointed time is approaching is the shift happening within your spirit. You are no longer trying to force the future into existence. You are learning how to prepare for it. Preparation looks quiet from the outside. It looks like showing up for your responsibilities when recognition is absent. It looks like guarding your energy even when others waste theirs. It looks like investing your attention into growth while others chase distraction. These choices may appear small in the moment, but heaven measures them differently, because every act of consistency strengthens your capacity. Anointed one capacity is one of the most important concepts in divine wealth. Many people pray for increase, but few realize that increase always flows toward the person who can sustain it. Imagine pouring a river into a small container. The container cannot hold it. The overflow becomes destruction instead of blessing. This is why God spends so much time enlarging the container before releasing the river. And the enlargement process is rarely comfortable. It requires learning to remain faithful when progress feels slow. It requires learning to trust your assignment, even when comparison whispers that others are moving faster. It requires learning to measure your life by alignment rather than speed. Chosen one comparison has quietly destroyed many destinies. People begin to look at someone else's progress and assume they have fallen behind. They see the visible success of others without understanding the invisible preparation that preceded it. And in that moment of comparison, they abandon the very path that was leading them toward their own breakthrough. But heaven does not measure your journey by someone else's timeline. God measures accuracy. Accuracy means you are moving in the direction you were designed to walk, even if the pace feels slower than expected. Accuracy means you are building something stable rather than something temporary. Accuracy means you are becoming the person who can carry the assignment attached to your life. And anointed one, that kind of preparation creates a quiet confidence. You may have noticed it recently. You are less concerned with proving yourself to others. You feel less need to explain your choices. The opinions that once unsettled you now pass through your mind without the same weight. That is not indifference. That is identity becoming anchored. When identity stabilizes, external noise loses its authority. Chosen one. The reason heaven focuses so intensely on identity before releasing wealth is because identity determines stewardship. A person who believes they are temporary will treat resources carelessly. A person who understands they are called will treat resources as responsibility. And this is where your journey is beginning to shift again. Because something inside you is moving from survival thinking into stewardship thinking. You are beginning to see time differently. Hours are no longer something to simply pass through. They are opportunities to build, refine, and prepare. Your attention is becoming more focused. The things that once distracted you are losing their appeal. This is not boredom. It is clarity. Clarity narrows your focus so that your energy is reserved for what truly matters. And energy, chosen one, is one of the most valuable resources heaven entrusts to you. People often think wealth begins with money, but wealth actually begins with the ability to direct your energy wisely. Energy becomes discipline. Discipline becomes consistency. Consistency becomes trust. And trust attracts opportunity. This is why the seemingly ordinary days you are living right now are more important than you realize. Every morning you choose discipline over distraction, your capacity grows. Every moment you return to your purpose, when doubt tries to distract you, your identity strengthens. Every decision you make to remain aligned with what you know is right, heaven records that faithfulness. And those moments are forming something far more valuable than quick success. They are forming stability, because the wealth that God intends to place in your hands will require stability that cannot be shaken by pressure, criticism, or sudden change. But there is another shift that begins once patience has done its work. It is the moment when preparation quietly transforms into readiness. And chosen one, that moment is closer than it appears. The chosen one readiness is a quiet transformation that most people fail to recognize when it first arrives. It does not come with fireworks or loud announcements. It comes with clarity. It comes with a calmness that replaces the constant striving that once drove your decisions. Suddenly, you notice that the internal battle has quieted. The questions that once kept you awake no longer dominate your thoughts. The future no longer feels like something you must chase. Instead, it begins to feel like something you're being prepared to receive. Anointed One. Readiness changes the way you move through life. Where you once rushed, you now observe. Where you once reacted quickly, you now respond with intention. And this change can feel subtle, but spiritually it is profound. Because heaven does not release significant responsibility into a life that is still governed by emotional turbulence. I remember the first time I realized that something had shifted within me. The circumstances around me had not dramatically changed yet, but my response to them had. Situations that once caused stress no longer had the same grip on my attention. Conversations that once pulled me into unnecessary conflict simply lost their power. I began to see that the greatest transformation God had been working on was not my external environment. It was my internal stability. Chosen One stability is the soil where divine wealth grows. When a person is unstable, even the greatest opportunity becomes dangerous. Resources can amplify confusion. Influence can magnify insecurity. But when stability forms within you, everything changes. Opportunities that once would have overwhelmed you now feel manageable. Responsibilities that once seemed intimidating now feel purposeful. This is why the process you have been walking through required so much refinement. Anointed. One, think about the moments when you felt misunderstood. When your decisions confused people around you. When the path you were walking seemed lonely or even unnecessary to others. Those moments were not wasted. They were strengthening your ability to stand firm without constant validation. Leadership often begins in solitude, because when God prepares someone to influence others, He first ensures that their identity does not depend on approval. The opinions of others cannot be allowed to determine the direction of someone carrying a divine assignment. Chosen One. The reason your confidence is beginning to grow is not because everything around you is suddenly easy. It is because you are beginning to trust what God has been forming inside you. Confidence born from pride is loud and fragile. Confidence born from preparation is quiet and steady. You may notice that you are no longer seeking permission to move forward with what you know is right. You are listening more carefully to the inner guidance that has been developing through your seasons of waiting. That discernment did not appear overnight. It was formed during the times when you had to make decisions without complete clarity and then live with the results, and those experiences have sharpened your awareness. Chosen One discernment is one of the most valuable forms of spiritual wealth you can possess, because discernment protects what God places in your hands. It helps you recognize which opportunities are aligned with your assignment and which ones are distractions disguised as progress. Many people assume that when divine favor arrives, every door will open easily. But the truth is that some doors appear simply to test whether you have learned to recognize what is truly meant for you. Anointed One. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Some doors open quickly but lead to compromise. Some invitations appear attractive, but require you to abandon the very values that prepared you for your calling. This is why the discernment forming within you is so important. It will help you recognize the difference between urgency and alignment. Alignment feels peaceful, even when the responsibility is great. Urgency feels pressured, even when the opportunity looks appealing. Chosen One. As readiness continues to form within you, you will begin to notice another shift. Your relationship with time will change. You will no longer measure progress only by visible results. Instead, you will begin to recognize growth in the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you manage the resources already in your hands. This perspective frees you from comparison, Because once you understand that heaven is preparing you for a specific assignment, you stop measuring your life by someone else's timeline. The speed of another person's success becomes irrelevant when you understand that accuracy is what determines lasting impact. And accuracy is what God has been training you to pursue. Chosen one. The more accurately you move in alignment with your purpose, the more your life begins to simplify. Certain distractions no longer seem attractive. Certain conversations no longer capture your attention. Certain paths that once seemed promising now feel empty. This simplification is not loss, it is focus. Focus conserves your energy for the responsibilities that are approaching, because the next phase of your life will require more than excitement. It will require endurance, wisdom, and emotional balance. And anointed one, that balance is already forming. You are learning how to hold vision without becoming consumed by it. You are learning how to pursue excellence without sacrificing peace. You are learning how to prepare for increase without becoming obsessed with results. These are the marks of maturity, and maturity attracts trust. When heaven recognizes that a person can remain steady regardless of circumstances, the level of responsibility entrusted to them begins to expand. Chosen one. The calm clarity you are experiencing now is not the end of the preparation. It is the signal that preparation is nearly complete. Because once readiness has formed inside you, the next step is movement. And movement does not arrive through force, it arrives through alignment. Chosen one, movement through alignment rarely looks the way people expect. Many imagine that when the moment of elevation arrives, it will appear with sudden noise, dramatic announcements, or overwhelming confirmation. But the truth is that the most powerful shifts in life often arrive quietly, almost gently, as if heaven is opening a door that has been waiting for you all along. Anointed one. When alignment leads to movement, the first sign is not always a visible breakthrough. The first sign is recognition. You begin to notice that certain opportunities feel different. They do not demand urgency. They do not pressure you to prove yourself. Instead, they appear with a strange sense of familiarity, as if they belong in the life you have been preparing to live. I remember encountering this moment myself. For years, I had believed that the right opportunity would feel overwhelming, something so large and undeniable that it would immediately change everything. But when it finally appeared, it felt surprisingly calm. There was no chaos surrounding it, no need to force it. It simply fit. Chosen one, that is one of the clearest signs of divine alignment. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon the person you have become. Opportunities that come from pressure often require compromise. They push you to move before you are ready. They appeal to fear or impatience. But opportunities that are aligned with your assignment arrive differently. They invite your agreement rather than demanding your effort. Anointed one. The preparation you have walked through is what allows you to recognize this difference. Because if the same opportunity had appeared in an earlier season of your life, you might have rushed into it for the wrong reasons. You might have been driven by the desire to escape your circumstances rather than the desire to steward a calling. You might have accepted it before you were ready to carry the responsibility that came with it. But that version of you is no longer the one standing here now. Chosen one. The patience you learned in previous seasons has given you something far more valuable than speed. It has given you discernment about timing. Timing is one of the most powerful forces in the life of someone walking with God. A door opened too early can be as destructive as a door that never opens at all. But when the moment of release aligns with the moment of readiness, the results are different. Movement becomes sustainable rather than overwhelming. This is why Scripture often speaks about divine timing in ways that emphasize patience. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22 reminds us that when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen quickly. Notice the order of that promise. First, the time becomes right. Then the acceleration appears. Chosen one. Many people try to reverse this process. They attempt to force acceleration before readiness has formed. They chase outcomes before the foundation is stable. And when pressure arrives, the structure collapses because it was built too quickly. But the life God is building through you has been formed with patience. And that patience is about to become an advantage. Anointed one. Something else begins to change during this phase of movement. Your awareness of responsibility deepens. The vision you carry no longer feels like a personal ambition. It begins to feel like stewardship. Stewardship is different from ambition. Ambition focuses on achievement. Stewardship focuses on preservation and multiplication. When a person operates only from ambition, their focus is on reaching the next milestone. But when a person understands stewardship, their focus shifts toward building something that will last beyond their own lifetime. Chosen one. The wealth God is preparing to place in your life is not designed to end with you. It is meant to move through you. This is why your perspective has been changing. You are beginning to think beyond immediate rewards. You are beginning to see how decisions today can affect generations tomorrow. Your choices about time, discipline, and integrity now feel heavier because you understand they are shaping something larger than your personal comfort. And that awareness is a powerful sign of spiritual maturity. Anointed one, influence without humility eventually collapses. But humility without confidence cannot lead. The balance between these two qualities is one of the most difficult aspects of leadership to develop. Yet this balance has been forming within you through the seasons of waiting. Because waiting teaches humility, and preparation builds confidence. Together they create the kind of leadership that heaven trusts. Chosen one. As your life begins to move into this next phase, you may notice that people respond to you differently. Not because you are louder or more forceful, but because you are clearer. Clarity carries a kind of authority that confusion cannot imitate. When you speak with clarity, others sense direction. When you act with clarity, opportunities recognize alignment. And clarity has been growing within you. The complexity that once filled your thoughts has slowly been replaced with simplicity. You are beginning to see that many of the things that once seemed urgent were never truly important. Your focus is narrowing toward the assignments that actually matter. This narrowing is not limitation. It is precision. Precision multiplies impact. Chosen one. The reason heaven simplifies your vision before expanding your influence is because influence requires focus. A life filled with distraction cannot carry significant responsibility, but a life directed by purpose becomes a channel through which resources, opportunities, and relationships begin to flow. And that flow is beginning to form around you now. Anointed one. The transition from preparation into movement does not require you to become someone new. It requires you to remain faithful to the person God has been shaping you to be. The discipline that sustained you in quiet seasons must continue when visibility increases. The humility that grounded you in waiting must remain when success appears. The integrity that guided your decisions in private must continue when more people begin to watch. Because the structure that carried you here is the same structure that will carry you forward. Chosen one. You are approaching the point where preparation begins to reveal its purpose. And when that moment arrives, the shift will not feel forced. It will feel like fulfillment. Chosen. One fulfillment rarely arrives the way people imagine it. Many expect the moment of breakthrough to feel overwhelming, almost explosive, as if one event suddenly transforms everything overnight. But more often, the true shift happens when preparation and opportunity quietly meet each other. The life you have been building internally begins to align with circumstances externally, and suddenly the path forward becomes clear. Anointed One. This moment is not just about opportunity appearing. It is about recognition awakening. When the door finally opens, you will not feel confused about whether you should walk through it. Something within you will recognize the moment with certainty. I remember the first time I experienced that kind of clarity. For years I had prayed for direction, asking God to show me where to move and what to pursue. But when the answer finally arrived, it did not come with the confusion I expected. It came with peace. Not the kind of peace that removes responsibility, but the kind that steadies you even when the responsibility grows larger. Chosen One. Peace is one of the clearest signals that heaven is guiding your steps. The world often associates opportunity with excitement or pressure. But divine opportunities carry a different atmosphere. They may still challenge you, they may still stretch your abilities, but beneath the challenge, there is a deep sense that you are walking in the direction you were designed to move. This is why the journey you have walked through was necessary. Because without the discipline, the patience, and the identity that formed during your preparation, you might not have recognized the significance of what is now approaching. Anointed One. Readiness changes the way you evaluate opportunity. You are no longer impressed simply by size or speed. Instead, you are learning to ask deeper questions. Does this align with my purpose? Does this strengthen the life God is building through me? Does this allow me to remain faithful to the values that shaped my journey? Those questions protect you from the distractions that appear when momentum begins to grow. Because Chosen One. Whenever heaven begins to elevate someone, the number of available paths suddenly multiplies. Invitations appear, ideas expand, possibilities increase, and not every one of them is meant to become part of your assignment. This is where discernment continues to guide your steps. Discernment is not only about recognizing danger, it is also about recognizing distraction. Sometimes the greatest threat to your calling is not failure, but misdirection. A person can become so busy pursuing many good opportunities that they lose focus on the one assignment that truly matters. But the clarity that has been forming within you protects against that confusion. Or Chosen One. You are beginning to understand something that many people discover too late. Focus is one of the most valuable forms of spiritual discipline. When your attention is directed toward what truly matters, your energy multiplies. When your attention is scattered across too many pursuits, even great potential becomes diluted. This is why heaven has been simplifying your life. Certain activities have quietly faded from your priorities. Certain conversations no longer capture your attention. Certain ambitions that once seemed important now feel unnecessary. At first, you may have wondered if you were losing motivation, but in reality, you were gaining precision. Anointed One. Precision allows your life to become a channel rather than a container. Instead of chasing every possibility, you begin to recognize the path that carries the greatest purpose. And when you walk that path with discipline, something remarkable happens. Resources begin to flow toward clarity. People are drawn to clarity because it reduces confusion. Opportunities align with clarity because it removes hesitation. Even wealth responds to clarity because clarity produces wise stewardship. Chosen one, wealth in the hands of someone who lacks clarity becomes noise. But wealth in the hands of someone who understands their assignment becomes transformation. This is why the shift you are experiencing is not merely financial, it is spiritual. The journey from broke to billionaire is not simply about numbers increasing. It is about influence expanding. It is about becoming someone who can build systems that bless others, who can create opportunities that outlive your own lifetime, who can carry resources without losing humility. And that kind of stewardship requires maturity. Anointed one maturity reveals itself in small ways before it appears in large ones. You may notice that your decisions are becoming calmer. You are less interested in immediate validation and more focused on long-term impact. Your conversations are shifting from short-term excitement toward meaningful direction. These subtle changes are signs that your mindset is evolving. Because the person who carries wealth responsibly does not think only about receiving. They think about multiplying. They think about preserving. They think about how their influence can create stability for others. Chosen one. When God elevates someone, it is rarely for the purpose of personal comfort alone. Elevation carries assignment. It places you in a position where your decisions affect more than just your own life. That realization can feel heavy at first, but it also brings clarity. Because once you understand that your life carries responsibility beyond yourself, your motivation changes. Discipline is no longer something you force yourself to maintain. It becomes a natural response to the calling you recognize. Anointed one. The awareness of stewardship is one of the clearest signs that your life is approaching a new level of influence. You begin to sense that what you carry is no longer only about personal survival or personal success. It is about impact. It is about creating stability, opportunity, and hope for others who will walk the path after you. And that realization quietly transforms the way you approach the future. Chosen one. The shift that has already begun in your life is moving you toward that kind of impact. But before the full manifestation appears, there is still one more transformation that heaven completes within those who are called to carry significant responsibility. It is the transformation of authority. And that authority is already beginning to form inside you. If this message has strengthened your spirit and you feel led to help this mission continue reaching other chosen ones who need encouragement in their season, you can quietly support the work through the link in the description. Your kindness helps keep these messages flowing to those who are still searching for clarity and hope. Because what is forming within you now is not only preparation for your own life, it is preparation for the lives you are about to influence. Chosen. One authority is one of the most misunderstood aspects of divine elevation. Many people believe authority appears the moment wealth recognition or influence arrives. They assume it comes from position titles or public visibility, but true authority forms long before anyone else recognizes it. It forms in the hidden places where character is tested and identity becomes anchored. Anointed one, the authority God places on a life does not begin when people start listening to you. It begins the moment you learn how to govern yourself. Self-governance is the foundation of every lasting form of influence. Before heaven entrusts someone with resources, leadership, or impact, it watches how that person handles their emotions, their reactions, and their decisions when no one is watching. I remember a time when I thought authority meant having answers for others. I believed it was about guiding people making strong decisions and stepping confidently into leadership. But the deeper lesson God taught me was far quieter. Authority begins when you can remain steady, even when circumstances attempt to shake you. Chosen one. The storms of life reveal who truly carries authority. Anyone can remain calm when everything is predictable. But when unexpected challenges appear, when delays stretch longer than expected, when criticism or doubt enters the room, the response of your spirit reveals the level of authority you have developed. And you may not realize it, but the seasons you walked through recently were forming this very strength within you. There were moments when your patience was tested, moments when progress seemed slower than you hoped, moments when the opinions of others could have easily pushed you off course. But something within you chose steadiness. That choice matters more than you realize, because authority is not loud, authority is composed. When a person carries authority, they do not need to argue constantly. They do not need to prove themselves in every conversation. Their stability becomes the evidence of their leadership. Anointed one. You may have noticed this shift in yourself. Situations that once triggered emotional reactions no longer have the same control over you. Conversations that once drained your energy now pass without leaving a lasting impact. You are becoming more deliberate with your responses, more thoughtful with your words. This is not emotional distance. It is discernment. Discernment is one of the greatest protections God gives to those who are called to carry influence. It allows you to see beyond appearances. It helps you recognize the difference between what deserves your energy and what should simply be released. Tatasin. Tun. The reason discernment is so important in seasons of elevation is because success attracts attention. When influence begins to grow, new voices will enter your environment. Some will offer support, some will offer advice, some will simply want access to what you are building. Without discernment, it becomes difficult to recognize which relationships strengthen your assignment and which ones quietly weaken it. But the discernment forming inside you now will guide your steps. You will begin to sense when an opportunity carries alignment and when it carries distraction. You will recognize when a conversation contributes to your purpose and when it drains your focus. And this awareness allows you to protect the energy required for the path ahead. Anointed one. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is stewardship. Energy is the resource that fuels every decision you make. It shapes the quality of your thinking, the clarity of your vision, and the strength of your discipline. When your energy is scattered across too many directions, even the greatest potential becomes diluted. But when your energy is directed with intention, the impact of your life multiplies. This is why heaven has been teaching you to guard your attention. You may have noticed that certain environments no longer feel comfortable, certain conversations no longer hold your interest, certain patterns of behavior that once seemed harmless now feel misaligned. This shift is not isolation. It is refinement. Chosen. 1. Every level of elevation requires a new level of focus. The distractions that were manageable in earlier seasons can become dangerous when responsibility increases. The habits that seemed insignificant before can weaken the structure of a life that carries influence. So heaven begins teaching you how to simplify your world. You learn to value silence. You learn to appreciate time spent in reflection. You begin to understand that clarity often emerges when distractions disappear. Anointed one. The quiet strength you feel growing inside you is part of this refinement. You are no longer chasing recognition in the same way you once did. You are not searching constantly for validation or reassurance. Instead, you are learning to move forward with confidence rooted in alignment. And alignment produces authority. Because when your actions match your values, your words carry weight. When your discipline matches your vision, your leadership becomes credible. When your character remains steady under pressure, people recognize the stability that others can rely on. Chosen one. This is the kind of authority that creates lasting influence. Not authority built on charisma alone, but authority grounded in integrity. Not authority that fades when circumstances change, but authority that remains steady because it is anchored in purpose. Scripture reminds us in Luke chapter 16, verse 10, that whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. This principle applies not only to finances, but to every area of life. The way you handle small responsibilities reveals your readiness for larger ones. And anointed one. The way you have been handling your responsibilities has not gone unnoticed by heaven. Your consistency in quiet seasons has built credibility in the spiritual realm. Your discipline in ordinary days has formed the structure necessary for extraordinary moments. Your willingness to remain faithful when recognition was absent has created the foundation for influence that will soon expand. Chosen one authority is no longer something you are waiting to receive. It is something that has been forming within you. And as that authority continues to mature, another transformation begins to unfold. It is the transformation that shifts your life from preparation into manifestation. And the signs of that manifestation are already beginning to appear on Chosen. One manifestation rarely begins with a dramatic moment that everyone around you can see. It often begins with subtle confirmations that only you can recognize. The signs appear quietly, almost like whispers, and they ask you a simple question: are you willing to trust what has already been built within you? Anointed one, the transition from preparation into manifestation does not happen because life suddenly becomes easier. It happens because the internal structure that God has been forming inside you becomes strong enough to support the next level of responsibility. Many people imagine that manifestation means everything will change instantly. But the truth is that when God moves in someone's life, He often begins by aligning small details first. Conversations start to shift. Opportunities appear that once felt distant. Connections form that begin to move your life in a new direction. At first, these changes may look ordinary, but they are not ordinary. They are alignment. Chosen one, think of a river that has been slowly carving a path through stone for years. For a long time, the surface looks unchanged, but beneath the surface, pressure and persistence are shaping a channel strong enough to carry a powerful current. Then, one day, the water begins to flow through that channel, and suddenly the movement becomes visible. This is the stage many people fail to recognize. They expect manifestation to appear before the channel is complete, but heaven waits until the structure is ready. Anointed one. The structure in your life has been forming for longer than you realize. Every moment of discipline, every decision to remain faithful, every time you chose alignment over convenience has been shaping the path through which your future will move. And now the first currents are beginning to flow. You may notice it in the way certain opportunities are appearing more naturally. Doors that once seemed locked begin to open without the same resistance. Conversations that once led nowhere now carry direction. But perhaps the most important change is happening inside you. Chosen one. The way you respond to opportunity has changed. In earlier seasons, you might have rushed forward with excitement or fear of missing out. You might have tried to seize every possibility, hoping one of them would lead to breakthrough. But now, something different is guiding your decisions. You are moving with discernment. Discernment allows you to pause long enough to recognize what truly belongs in your life. It gives you the wisdom to step through the right door without chasing every door that appears. This is why manifestation requires maturity. Because when the current begins to flow, distractions increase as well. The moment people sense movement in your life, attention follows. Invitations multiply. Ideas expand. The environment around you becomes more active. Without maturity, that activity can become overwhelming, but maturity allows you to remain focused even when the noise increases. Anointed One. You're beginning to understand that success is not simply about opportunity, it is about stewardship. Stewardship means recognizing that every opportunity carries responsibility. Every new connection carries influence. Every resource that enters your life has the potential to shape the lives of others. This is why the shift from broke to billionaire is not just about personal prosperity, it is about the transformation of how you see your role in the world. Chosen One. When wealth becomes connected to purpose, it becomes something entirely different from the pursuit of luxury or status. It becomes a tool to build stability where there was once uncertainty, a tool to create opportunities where there was once limitation, a tool to extend influence that carries wisdom and integrity into places that desperately need both. This is the kind of wealth heaven trusts with the chosen, anointed one. This is also why the process you have walked through required such deep preparation, because influence without character can damage many lives, but influence guided by humility and wisdom can transform generations. You're being prepared for the second kind. Chosen One. The signs of manifestation are not only external opportunities, they are also internal confirmations. You may notice that your confidence is no longer dependent on immediate results. You move forward with clarity even when the full picture has not yet appeared. This kind of confidence is not arrogance, it is alignment. Alignment produces a calm certainty that your steps are being guided even when the path unfolds gradually. And this certainty changes the way you face challenges. Where doubt once lingered, now there is patience. Where frustration once appeared, now there is trust. You understand that every step you take is contributing to something larger than what you can currently see. Scripture reminds us in Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 that at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Chosen One, the harvest season of your life is not something distant. It is something already approaching. But harvest requires readiness. A farmer who plants seeds understands that growth happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. The soil may look unchanged for a long time, but within that soil, life is forming. Roots are expanding. Strength is developing. Then suddenly, the first signs appear above the ground. Anointed One. You are standing at the moment when the first signs are beginning to emerge. And as manifestation continues to unfold, another transformation will take place in your life. It is the transformation from preparation and readiness into full responsibility. Because when the harvest arrives, the work is not finished. In many ways, it is just beginning. Chosen One. The moment responsibility arrives is the moment many people realize that the breakthrough they prayed for was never meant to be the finish line. It was the beginning of a greater assignment. When heaven releases increase into a life, it is not simply rewarding effort. It is entrusting influence. Anointed One. The shift from broke to billionaire that has begun in your life carries far more meaning than financial transformation. It represents a repositioning of authority, clarity, and stewardship. Resources are only one part of the equation. What heaven is truly releasing through you is impact. Because wealth without impact eventually becomes empty, but wealth connected to purpose becomes legacy. Chosen one. This is why the journey you have walked through required such deep formation. The waiting was not meant to frustrate you. The silence was not meant to discourage you. The repetition of ordinary days was not wasted time. All of it was building the stability necessary for the responsibility you are now stepping toward. I remember the moment when that realization finally settled inside me. For years, I believed the breakthrough itself would feel like the greatest reward. But when the doors began to open, something else became clear. The real reward was the transformation that had already taken place within me. Because the person I had become through the process was capable of carrying what the earlier version of me could not. Chosen. 1. This same transformation is happening within you. The discipline that once felt difficult is now part of who you are. The patience you learned during long seasons of waiting has strengthened your ability to remain steady when pressure increases. The discernment you developed through trial and error now protects the direction of your life. These qualities are not temporary lessons, they are permanent foundations. Anointed one, the next phase of your life will ask you to build upon these foundations in ways that affect others. The opportunities coming toward you will not only create growth in your own life, they will create pathways for people who may never even know your name. This is the quiet power of stewardship. Stewardship does not chase recognition. It focuses on responsibility. It asks a simple question: how can what I have been given create something that lasts beyond me? Chosen one. When you begin to think this way, your relationship with wealth changes completely. Money becomes a resource rather than a destination. Influence becomes an opportunity rather than a burden. Success becomes a platform through which stability can be extended to others. And this perspective protects your heart. Because when a person forgets the purpose behind their elevation, pride begins to replace gratitude. But when someone remembers the journey that shaped them, humility continues to guide their steps. Anointed one. The gratitude you carry now is one of the greatest safeguards for the future. You know what it felt like to walk through uncertainty. You remember the days when progress seemed invisible. You understand the weight of responsibility that formed in quiet moments, when you wondered if your efforts would ever lead somewhere meaningful. That memory keeps your spirit grounded. Chosen one. Grounding is essential when visibility increases, because success often attracts voices that attempt to influence your direction. Some will praise you, some will question you, some will try to redirect your attention toward their own priorities. But the clarity that has been forming within you will guide your response. You are no longer searching for identity in the opinions of others. You are anchored in the identity that God has been shaping through every season you walk through. This anchor will protect you. Anointed one, as your life begins to expand outward, remember the disciplines that sustained you in the hidden seasons. Continue guarding your time. Continue nurturing the habits that strengthen your focus. Continue valuing integrity above convenience. The structure that carried you through preparation will also carry you through manifestation. Chosen one. The transition you are entering does not require you to become someone new. It requires you to remain faithful to the person God has already formed you to be. And that faithfulness is what will sustain the increase coming into your life. Scripture reminds us in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18, that it is the Lord who gives the power to produce wealth. That verse is not only about provision, it is about covenant. It reminds us that the resources entrusted to your life are connected to something larger than personal ambition. They are connected to purpose. Anointed One purpose transforms wealth into something eternal. It turns temporary success into lasting influence. It turns personal breakthrough into generational impact. And this is the assignment heaven has been preparing you to carry. Chosen One, the shift has already begun. The alignment you feel within your spirit is not a coincidence. It is the evidence that preparation and opportunity are finally meeting. You are not late. You are not early. You are standing exactly where you need to be for the next chapter of your life to unfold. And as you move forward from this moment, remember the lessons that shaped your journey. Stay grounded in gratitude. Stay steady in discipline. Stay attentive to the quiet guidance that has been leading you. Because the path ahead is not uncertain. It is unfolding. And Chosen One, you were never meant to watch this shift happen from a distance. You were chosen to walk in it. Chosen One. There comes a moment when the storm no longer surrounds your life because the strength to walk through it has already been formed within you. You are standing in that moment now. This shift from broke to billionaire is not simply about provision. It is about position. Heaven has already begun the transfer of resources, yes, but also of clarity, authority, and the ability to steward what once seemed far beyond your reach. Anointed One, you are not late to this season, and you are not early. You're standing in your Kairos moment, the appointed time where preparation and release meet. What was hidden is rising. What was delayed is aligning. And what was promised is quietly moving toward manifestation. So, remain faithful in this hour. Gratitude will keep your spirit open. Discipline will keep your hands steady. Trust will keep your heart clear as the path ahead unfolds. Walk forward with calm confidence, knowing you were never chosen merely to witness the shift. You were chosen to embody it. If this message has spoken to your spirit, let it be known in a simple way. Write Amen or 777 in the comments as a declaration of agreement with what heaven is doing in your life. And if you feel led, subscribe so you do not miss the next message meant for your journey. For those who wish to help this mission continue reaching others with faith and encouragement, you can also support the channel through a small offering in the link below. Anointed One, move forward in peace, strengthened by faith, and confident that what has begun in the Spirit will be fulfilled in your life.